Hey, everybody. Wow, my voice. I was sick for about a week, but I am getting better and I'm happy about that. I wanted to talk to you and inspire you today about something that I recently learned. I've actually been this way mostly all my life, but I recently learned something and I wanted to share with you because there are a lot of people out there that have a certain life, and many times these people who might have unfortunate situations, they're living, not very well financially, and they get in a position where they get very frustrated with their life. They don't like it, or maybe they have a lot of kids and they can't afford to go and do a lot of things and have a different life that might be, a better life for their family, for their children, to travel, to go to Disneyland, to do whatever. I mean, unfortunately, life costs money, right? And so when you're looking at the realities of experiencing life and going out and experiencing what this world has to offer, it does cost money. So this wise man, who's a very good friend of mine, he's very, very wealthy. He said to me the other day, he says, Dave, at the end of your life, when you're thinking about things like this, you get to realize that the people who are in the situation that they're in, they ultimately want that life. And I was like, what? And he said something really significant to me because, I've shared a lot of things about many people's lives and myself and so on. He says, that's the life that you want ultimately. And I'm like, wow, that's a really powerful perspective and paradigm, because, think about this. If you're in a life that maybe you should get out, maybe people are helping you financially or whatever it may be, you got to think that's ultimately what you want. Because if you didn't want that life, let's say, if you didn't really want that life, then you would change it and it would be altered. And so I look back at my life and I realize that there have been many, many times. I could start from the beginning when I was 19 years old and I wanted to go to college. I really worked a year before that, before I went to college. And I didn't really, at that period of time, at being 18, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was working factories. I was working at Kmart. I was working maintenance, and I did a lot of different things throughout the year, but I knew I didn't want to live like that. And so I had a friend who said, well, why don't you try to go to college? I didn't really have good grades. I didn't have the experience in my life where I was really kind of a great student. I didn't think about that in high school. I was more of like a basketball player, tennis player. I was a sports guy, a comedian. I was more involved in photography. I was a socialite type of person. And what happened was that year after I left high school, it really bothered me. I didn't want the life to be a small town type of person. I wanted something bigger. And my friend said, well, why don't you try out to college? Why don't you do that? And ultimately, I opened up believe it or not, Lovejoy College magazine, and I closed my eyes and pointed my finger, and it went to Rock Springs, Wyoming. And I applied for that college, and I got accepted. And they gave me a scholarship. And so for photography, and I was like, wow. And so when I was going to go on a Greyhound, getting ready, after I got accepted, I went to a place called the Penn Center in Thomaston, Connecticut. And I was with a bunch of my friends, and they all said to me, they said, Dave, you're going to be back in 2 weeks. You're not going to make it. And I said, no, you're wrong. I am going to make it, and I want to go to college, and you'll see, I'm not coming back. I'm sorry, I'm not coming back. What that made me think about when you look at your life and the life that you have, that's ultimately what you want. I did not want to have that life being a small town person in Connecticut, Thomaston, Connecticut. I wanted something bigger. I wanted something different. And that ultimately changed my life because that's what I wanted. I wanted to be having a great life, to be college educated. And I went, to another college after that. I went to Western Connecticut State College, and then ultimately I went to BYU, Brigham Young University. And this is before I was even a Mormon. I wanted to to have a really good degree. And I went to 3 colleges and I got my degree. So that took a lot of effort because I wanted something different. And what I'm trying to say here is the life that you're in, right? The life that you're in, ultimately you have to say to yourself, this is what I want. Wild view when you think about that. So if you're in a situation, if you're saying, well, my life sucks, my life is horrible, this is what it is, I can't pay for many things, I can't do many things, ultimately I'm going to say to you, but you want that life. And then they'll say, no, I don't want this life. And I'm going to say, you want that life because you're living that life. That's your life. Think about it, guys. Think about it. I had the opportunity to travel all over the world. I've had 8 companies. I've had, been an evangelical minister. Now founding a church here in St. George, and it's doing amazing things. We have about 55 people. We're going to be building a beautiful temple in the next 2 years, getting involved in the design. It's really ultimately your life, and you have to really come to grips with who you are. If you are in the situation that you're in and you're comfortable with it and you say, well, this is my life, that's what you want. That's what you want. So what you need to do, if you don't want that, you got to follow a different path. And you got to have your heart and your passion, your mind say, this is not what I want. And you go and figure it out and ask a lot of people and try to rearrange your thoughts and your heart and your mind. And you're saying, no, I don't want this. I am going forward in a different path. Or if you're in the same situation, you've been in for many, many, many years, and that's your life, that's what you want. Think about it. That's what I have learned. I hope this helped you. I think it's very wise. It's a wise decision, and it's something that you can consider introspectively, to think about it in your heart and mind. Because if you're in that situation, that's what you want. Don't blame anybody else. Blame it on you. And if you feel that you want something else, then start going at it and get it. Because the world's out there, man, and I've had a lot of opportunities in my life to do many things. And I got to tell you, life is exciting. You could do many things. And I know you can, but you got to deal with yourself first on this very subject with your life. God bless you guys. Thanks for watching, and have a happy new year. And talk to you soon. God bless.